Hello, everyone. This is Sharonda, and this is my YouTube channel podcast, all in one Magic Mind Medium. Today is Sunday, which is February the 22nd, 2026. It's been a few months since I've recorded a podcast, and I haven't been able to get around to getting it done. And so today is the day. I will be doing a spiritual subject recording at the close of this um, episode as well. Okay. And it's going to be a spin-off of um, one of the episodes that I did in relation to spirit channeling and spirit conjuring. So I think I'm gonna do an updated version to that, but it's not going to necessarily be spirit channeling or spirit conjuring. I think I'm going to speak on time travel and do we believe in time travel and things of that nature. So stay tuned for that. I am not doing this live, so I will be uploading this at the close of this presentation. All right, so we're going to go ahead. I set my camera off. I set my prayer off camera, and we're going to proceed with the tarot card reading. I want to stress that this podcast YouTube channel is for entertainment, informational, and sometimes educational purposes. It just depends on what episode you listen to or what content I may present that day. All right. All righty. So we're working with my Mrs. Cleo's cards. I do aspire to get more cards. I thrown away all of my cards except for these, with the exception of these. All right. So I'm going to tap into the spirits at this time, and whatever information comes up, we would just proceed. So I'm gonna start off with a 7 card tree spread, which I branded and uh I guess you would say invented myself. All right, so what do we want to focus on in terms of a reader? Let's proceed. One, two, three, four, five, six, and seven. Okay, so I have the Empress card turned upside down. So if you may be tuning in or will be tuning in to this episode, I do believe in synchronicity. And what is synchronicity? When you begin to see the sequence or patterns of events in life, and if you're meant to capture it, it may be in correlation to a thought or something that's going on. And one of the things that I have noticed over the last couple of months is that I can, in the witching hour or devil's hour, you may say, I get a lot of inclinations and somehow I'm geared towards that particular thing. So that is what I'm going to touch bases on in terms of a topic, uh, sequence of events and time travel. Okay. But I do have the Empress card turned in the opposite. All right, I have Queen of Staffs and then I have Two of Swords turned in the opposite as well. I have the Knight of Cups, the Two of Staffs, and then I have the Nine of Staffs turned in the opposite, and then I have the Queen of Swords. All right, so give me just a moment. Let me get back into my zone and I can let you know what I feel as though this is being conveyed. So I honestly feel as though prior to me even starting or recording, I said I wanted to do a reading in terms of where we're headed this year in the country and in the world globally. Right now, I think that we are under judgment, if that makes sense to anybody. I mean, I've said this before, it's not nothing new. I do feel as though we are under judgment, we are being watched on a spiritual sense, if that makes sense. Okay, bear with me. I just had my computer to glitch. And what does that mean? I think we're being watched in terms of things that we do when no one is around, right? So oftentimes, um, we would be on our best behavior when we feel as though we're being watched. But also, um, sometimes we may fall away from things that we know that is right when we think that we're not being watched. So right now, I honestly feel as though that it's spiritual. And you'll begin to see the sensibility about this energy, this God force, or this existence, as we will know, and what it's all about is being revealed to us. Revelation will come within those spiritually about what is being conveyed in terms of language, what is written, and things of that nature. You're getting I think wisdom is honing in a lot of us, if that makes sense. So I have the Queen of Staffs to the left, then I have the Two of Swords towards the right. I honestly feel as though, in relation to this, I think it's going to be a lot of when I think of a queen of staff, I think of someone who may be mature in knowledge and wisdom. It doesn't necessarily have to come with age, but I also think with age, um, we're at a crossroads because I have the two of swords turned in the opposite. So that lets me know a crossroad in terms of revelation and things that are being presented to us, right? Um, as the biblical text may say, um, many people will what? Turn away from the things they believe and no longer believe those things because they would begin to be able to apply it to everyday life experiences and practices if they make sense, principalities even. And so I think that is what's going on. A lot of the things that are presented before us seems um theatric or scripted, if that makes sense, with the advent of the AI and things of that sort. You really have to have a stronghold in your belief in terms of spirit and spirituality. I think many people, you're going to begin to see a resurgence of a lot of people who are atheists, right? A disbelief from what has been told. And even though there may be proof to debunk what has been told, you're going to have those strongholds of those who are fixated in what they believe and they're not going to deviate from it. Okay, so I have the Knight of Cups in the past. I think a lot of us have been thirsty and hungry for knowledge and understanding, true understanding, because what is being presented versus what is being told seems to be some type of gap, if that makes sense. Um, so a lot of people are beginning to, get more into, well, what do I believe? And what is truth and what is knowledge? Okay, so in the present, I have two of staff. I feel as though it's going to be a lot of breaking away of toxic relationships, toxic people, toxic activities, toxic habits, things that are not that no longer serve us purpose. You want to stay in accordance with your temple because I feel as though wisdom would not come to all, but I do feel as though wisdom will come to many people, right? Where if you stay in accordance and committed to this path, this journey that we call life, God will, in a favorable sense, give you um, critical thinking, ability to detect reality from none, because you're going to find there's a lot of deception that occurs in this time and existence and has occurred, as I mentioned, with the advent of artificial intelligence. So I will speak on that as well. Let me go ahead and write some notes. So the spiritual senses, we're going to speak about artificial intelligence. We're going to speak about time, travel, and I mentioned one other thing that I said we was going to speak about. I'll think about it. It'll come to me. Um, but it all is going to tie into the same similar things. Okay. Towards the future, I have the nine of staff turn in the opposite. So I do feel as though a lot of when I get this is typically in relation to setup energy, right? Um, however, this is in the opposite. So it may appear as though you're being set up, but in all actuality, as the saying goes, God will use your enemies, quote unquote, as your footstool. That means that it will come in a sensibility to where, okay, don't be so quick to react because there's some purpose or a teachable moment in this situation, if that makes sense to anyone. I have the Queen of Swords as the outcome. I feel as though this is the inclination that I have gotten that there's going to be a lot of individuals and has been. So I don't think it's something that's not has not occurred. It has occurred, but I think it's going to be more and more of turning against one's image, if that makes sense to anyone. So what does that mean? Well, people that you felt that you had a kinship to, you'll come to find that you don't. And you'll begin to see that we are all spiritual based. We come here in a suit, but ultimately that energy is across the spectrum. I've been saying this for the longest time, and I'm going to stand firm to that. Okay. All righty. So, atheism, a disbelief. So we're going to do a combination of topics. I'm not going to, um, you know, because a lot of the things I find myself over the years re-recording, I'm doing a combo of things in terms of my spiritual subject. So we're going to touch base on multiple things within one spiritual subject episode, and I may be recording these on Sundays once a week. So it will not be doing the tarot cards daily like I had been. We will be focus Sundays as my days where I do my tarot cards and the spiritual subject in combination, speaking on various topics. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get some more because I have gotten some inclinations. And what do I mean by that? I get in the wee hours of the night, oftentimes a spirit speaks to me. Okay. Now, many people may say, okay, maybe you have some, you're stressed and this, that, and another. And I think we all are stressed, right? Some more so than others. But this is wisdom, I feel, right? And I get these images. A lot of times they're lucid. Um, and then I may gravitate. Synchronicity. That's what I was going to speak on. And then I could wake up and then it presents itself. And I understand that through the power of persuasion or dissuasion, that someone can pre program you into focus on a particular thing and then you gravitate to it. No, this is something totally different. Totally different. Like this is something apart from something that presents to you, more or less like I say for instance with advertisement, like we may see advertisement of a particular food or car or what have you, and then all of a sudden we begin to take a liking or affinity towards that, or you may gravitate to go eat if you continue to see something that tend to tantalize or stimulate your senses. Okay, this is totally different than that. Um, This is totally different from that. You know, you have not been exposed to this particular topic, and somehow you are by spirit. God gives you precognition or prequel prior to that day. That is true. Okay. All right. So let's see what else we're going to speak on in terms of a tarot card. So this time I'm going to do a 10 card in relation to spirit and spirituality and things that are coming about spiritually with us as spirit beings living a physical experience for 2026. All right, so let's do my 10 card spread, which is my Celtic cross. So I had got away from the 10 card spread, but I think it's one of my most favorite spreads of all. All righty, so we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. All right, so the first card we get is the Knight of Swords. So I did speak on women, and I'm gonna end this in the next 10 minutes. I did speak on women, but I honestly feel as though we all have our battles. We all have our challenges, right? So I have the King of Swords turn in the reverse. I feel as though you're going to find a lot of people who's going to start to question their thinking and thought process because they're going to begin to see, is there something wrong with me? And that's why you want to fast and limit those toxic relationships, toxic thoughts, toxic um situations and habits, so you'll begin to know, is this, no, I know it's not the food that I'm eating, I know it's not lack of sleep or sleep deprivation, I know it's not stress, I know it's not this, I know it's not that, and that way you are begin to become receptive to this is somehow, the universe is somehow communicating to me. Hmm. So you don't want to put yourself in situations where you can discredit yourself. You want to put yourself in situations where you're able to know, okay, this is exactly what this is. Okay, so crossing over, I have King of Coins crossed over. Um, I think the test in terms of materialism, but ultimately the value. what what do you put your focus and value towards in terms of materialism, monies, and things of that nature? And it will be a test of, you begin to see life in a spiritual sense, if that makes sense. So I think that's going to target for a lot of men, particularly. um I have the Ace of Coins turned in the opposite. You're going to begin to see a lot of evil eye, if that makes sense, and what that really means, oversight of certain energies who are in certain spirit related job fields and things of that nature. For card four, I have the Tower card. So you'll begin to get a sensibility about, I think more people are going to see the simulation, if that makes sense. Like, some things are put before us in this life experience, but you'll begin to see through that, see deeply within that. You'll begin to see in the spiritual sense. The spiritual sight will be honed, if that makes sense. To the left, I have Lovers. There will be a test, I think, with a lot of men coming for 2026 in terms of lovers, because I do have lovers towards the left. So lovers can be those that you love, or those, it could be family members. And I'm not saying lovers like, okay, a sexual situation. It could be in terms of family, or it could be actual lovers, or your wife, spouse, um, who you hold dear to you. To the right, I have Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, mothers, feelings towards mothers, and how you respect women in terms of relations and thoughts in terms of mother. Okay, that's what it shows me. Okay, so for card 7, I have the Chariot card. Um, I showed the Chariot card has a lot to do with transportation, two sides, transportation. So I think it's more or less like a transference of energies, right? Let's see. Two of coins turn in the opposite. You'll begin to see things through the lenses, I feel, of mothers. Um, and get a inner understanding in terms of things that transpire moments in time in history in your own right in terms of mothers, if that makes sense to anybody. For card 9, which is the hopes, fears, and dreams card, I have 5 of staffs. A lot of this, many people are not going to want to be receptive to it because what you thought, oftentimes when we think one way and we begin to see it in a different light, then it kind of like humbles a lot of us. But a lot of people, they won't be humbled by it, if that makes sense. So that's what the test is, I think, coming 2026. Um, Outcome, I have two of cups. So I think it's going to be a battle between what you thought and what is, how you feel and what is. So that is the test, I think, coming for 2026 in terms of men um, in the coming months. Because as I mentioned, I've been saying this for the last few years. We are in the spiritual warfare. We are spiritual beings living a what? A physical existence. So we all will have battles. We all will have challenges in this life experience. You know. Um. All righty. So that concludes the Magic Mind Medium weekly tarot card reading. Until then, you have a safe and wonderful day and stay tuned because I will be recording my spiritual subject, speaking about artificial intelligence, time travel. I'm going to touch on atheism and synchronicity. So stay tuned for that.